Hello and welcome back to Euro Football Daily, where today we're looking at 10 teams who could soon join Europe's elite and maybe win the Champions League in the not too distant future. 10. Roma. Kicking us off are Roma, the team from the Eternal City have won Serie A just 3 times. That's about one championship every 30 years. Despite a proud history and one of the modern game's greats captaining the side, they have only once reached a European Cup final, and that was all the way back in the 1983-84 season. However, since Spalletti rejoined the club in 2015, Roma have been an attacking dynamo. They outscored Juve and Napoli in the 15-16 season with 83 goals and lost fewer games than any team in the division with just 4 defeats. And with a squad full of young talent like Leandro Paredes, Mohamed Salah and Stefan El Shaarawy, they look set to contend at the top of the Italian and European competition before too long. 9. Bayer Leverkusen. When Bayer Leverkusen picked up Roger Schmidt from Salzburg back in 2014, they looked to be on an express train to the top. The German coach had won a league and cup double in Austria with Salzburg, cultivating young stars like Kevin Campbell and Sadio Mane in the side which beat Pep's Bayern 3-0 in a friendly. Schmidt turned Leverkusen into one of the highest pressing sides in Europe, and even though results were sometimes erratic, the club managed a 4th place finish in his first year and 3rd in his second. Youngsters like Jonathan Tah, Joe Pongpalo and Julian Brandt look primed for stardom, while Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Karim Bellarabi are now experienced campaigners. And for evidence of Leverkusen's true ability at the top level, look no further than 2015 when they took Atletico Madrid to penalties in the Champions League round of 16. A star or two and a little look could see Leverkusen explode. 8. Sevilla. Winners of just one La Liga title 70 years ago, Sevilla are already a force in Europe. The Andalusians have won the Europa League 5 times in the last 10 years, including 3 consecutive victories in the last 3 campaigns. The loss of manager Unai Emery could have been terminal, but the club cleverly appointed Jorge Sampaoli, who won the Copa America with Chile in 2015. The Argentinian was given a huge transfer war chest, and in combination with Sevilla's legendary transfer guru Monchi, acquired 8 players in the summer of 2016. The dominance of Barcelona, Atletico and Real Madrid may have prevented domestic success in recent years, but with Sevilla's form in knockout competitions, no one will want to face them in this year's Champions League. 7. Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool have won 5 European Cups, including one just 11 years ago, but it's impossible to deny that the Reds have declined since that magical night in Istanbul. Erratic management by Roy Hodgson and Kenny Dalglish saw the club drop from the Champions League spots, and even Jurgen Klopp could only manage an 8th place finish in his first year at Merseyside, their worst finish in the Premiership era. Liverpool lagged behind Manchester United, Arsenal and City on revenue, but Klopp has got the side playing good football again, with the Red Swarm pressing opponents into submission. The club reached the Europa League final in the Germans' first season, and Coutinho, Firmino and Mane have become one of England's most effective attacking trios. And with Klopp signed up till 2022, glory days could soon be coming back to Anfield. 6. PSG. Now major players in Europe again, PSG have been in the wilderness for nearly 20 years before they were acquired by the Qatar Investment Authority back in 2012. Carlo Ancelotti and Zlatan Ibrahimovic joined in a huge spending spree, and the Parisians won their first title that year since 1994. The loss of Ancelotti to Real Madrid proved a step back, and Laurent Blanc was unable to deliver Champions League success, the trophy which would prove PSG had joined the elite in Europe again. They are yet to progress beyond the quarterfinals of the competition, and so hired Unai Emery in 2016, the man responsible for 3 Europa League successes with Sevilla. With world stars like Verratti and Di Maria at the club, PSG are now showing their pulling power yet again, and it seems only a matter of time until they win France's 2nd Champions League. 5. Tottenham. What a difference a coach makes, eh? After the mess that AVB left behind and the catastrophe that was Tim Sherwood, Spurs chairman Daniel Levy turned to Southampton's Mauricio Pochettino, a Bielsa disciple whose tactical brilliance had guided the Saints from the relegation zone to the top half of the Premiership. A piecemeal squad and a rough transition nonetheless yielded a first season finish of 5th, and in his second year, Pochettino drove his team up to 3rd, their best result ever. Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen and Harry Kane bagged 41 goals and 23 assists between them. Ridiculous, and the club wisely re-signed coach and players on long-term deals. Those contracts mean that Spurs have a young squad and manager signed up to well in their prime, and with half the players yet to hit their peak and no need to sell, Spurs are primed to get even better. A title can't be too far away. 4. Red Bull Leipzig. Only founded back in 2009, Red Bull Leipzig were playing in the 4th tier of German football as recently as 2013. Since then, they have had 3 promotions, finally reaching the Bundesliga in 2016, with their average attendance skyrocketing from 2,000 to 30,000 in just 7 years. With the limitless finances of Red Bull behind them, Leipzig have brought up young talent from around the continent, though this has made them unpopular in Germany. Their skill in identifying and developing youth players has brought them a squad with just 2 players over 30 and an average age of 23.5 years. Add in Ralf Hasenhüttl, one of Europe's outstanding young coaches, and it's unsurprising that in their first season in the Bundesliga, they have reached 2nd place after 9 games. 3. Borussia Dortmund. 2 titles and a Champions League final under Jurgen Klopp put Borussia Dortmund at the top of the table back in 2013, but the loss of Lewandowski and Goetze saw BVB unable to maintain the competition at the top of that Bundesliga. Dortmund lack the financial resources of other big clubs and routinely get stripped their best players, but develop potential better than anyone in the game, turning out tomorrow's stars season after season. You've got Dembele, Emre Mor and Rafael Guerreiro who already look outstanding, whilst Thomas Tuchel is on every team's managerial hit list. If they can keep hold of their kids and the academy continues to pump out gems, Dortmund will once again be a force in Europe, and who knows, maybe sometime soon they'll come home with the prize. 2. Arsenal. Arsenal undeniably have the bank balance of a super club, but with no domestic title in 12 years and a history of heartbreak in the Champions League, they have struggled to match up to the continent's finest for a little while now. However, they now have world-class talent again in Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez, whilst young stars like Hector Bellerin and Granit Xhaka show the future is bright. The club's board claim that Arsenal can afford to buy a superstar every season, and whoever takes over after Arsene Wenger will inherit a deep and mature squad. Of course, the Frenchman still has his critics, but the decade after he leaves will be the true test of his work with the Gunners. Will it finally bring them European glory? 1. Atletico Madrid. Yes, despite 2 Champions League finals in 3 years, Atletico Madrid still make our list. The Rojiblancos are undoubtedly one of the best teams in Europe, but they still lack the spending power of their rivals. After winning La Liga in 2014, Atleti couldn't hold on to Felipe Luis or Diego Costa, and it remains to be seen whether they can entice world-class players to the club. Their biggest star, Antoine Griezmann, was bought before he exploded, and the rest of the squad is a testament to Simeone's ability to mould journeymen into a game-winning machine. But the real test will come when the Argentinian leaves, with his contract now ending in 2018. Despite these challenges, Atleti have shown again and again that they are more than the sum of their parts, and that they can work together to beat more expensive and more talented teams. If they can lift the Champions League trophy, there will be celebrations from more than just Atletico fans, let's put it that way. So there are top 10 future super clubs, but do you agree, guys? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, why not check out Joe and Pat on Monday's European Roundup? And as ever, don't forget to like and subscribe.